This stitch is the blanket stitch, or another name for it is the buttonhole stitch. You can pretty much work this stitch in any direction. I'm going to show you from right to left. It also works well going from top to bottom. And I've done it from left to right, so it really is any direction. What you're going to do is you're going to work along two parallel lines, and they're going to be pretty close together. Usually this stitch is about 1/4 of an inch, and so I'm going to go down 1/4 of an inch and then across 1/4 of an inch to mark my stitch. And I want to come up along the same line as where I started, and as I come up I'm going to emerge over the top of that thread. And your first stitch will form kind of an upside down backwards L. It'll be half of a square right there. So then the next stitch goes straight across from the bottom leg, and it goes up in the top leg and emerges over the top of the thread. And you pull it and it just forms another little half of a square. So you keep doing that, and that is seriously all that this stitch is. It's very fun, and it works good, and it's easy to do. The hardest part is getting started, and you will end up with that half of a stitch looking. Your stitch won't be complete. Now if we were going around an object, then when we were all done, our last stitch would go right here, and that's where we would end our stitch. So it does finish off the stitch towards the end, but not until you've worked your way around it. So this is called the blanket stitch. You can do this with small stitches, with large stitches. Any kind of thread works. And you can see that I am not perfectly even. Some of my stitches are bigger than others, but it still is a cute stitch and it works nice, even if it isn't perfect. If you, I pulled that stitch a little bit tight, all you do is just loosen it a little bit and pull it again. When you want to end the stitch, you're going to do either a stitch out here if you want it to finish like this, or if you want it to finish close, you go right over there. So that is how you do the blanket stitch. I'll finish it right here so it finishes the same look as what it started with. The blanket stitch or the buttonhole stitch.